Okay, so that is what I want to discuss today. Now, what is the nature of questions that you will get from this particular topic? Well, questions will be related to figuring out, equilibrium points, doing stability analysis, figuring out whether a system is stable or unstable, and therefore making conclusions about whether a motion is bounded or unbounded, what happens under small displacements. Under small displacements, you can get simple harmonic motion. We studied simple harmonic motion a couple of lectures back. And within that context of simple harmonic motions, calculations related to angular frequency, time period, amplitude, etc. So questions can range from all of these different kinds of questions. You might be asked something regarding stability analysis, something regarding frequency of simple harmonic oscillations, etc., etc. Okay. So let us discuss the theory behind this particular topic. We are familiar with the fact that if you are dealing with a mechanical system where conservative forces are involved, then automatically you can describe that conservative force as a negative gradient of a potential energy function. And I have also talked about the conservation laws where the potential energy function is useful, right? But there is something much more that we can figure out about the nature of the motion from a potential energy analysis perspective. So let us take a very simple case of a motion which is happening along the x-axis, and I'm going to draw some very random potential energy diagram, and just by looking at the potential energy diagram we will be able to figure out certain things about the nature of the motion just by doing a simple analysis of the potential energy diagram. अभी तक मैं आपको फंक्शंस भी नहीं दे रहा हूं. जब हम प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग करेंगे वहां पे उस टाइम पे आई विल गिव यू फंक्शंस. अभी we are just doing a very random analysis of various potential energy diagram. Okay, so potential energy diagram. So let's suppose that you have a motion which is happening along the x-axis. So for a very simple system, we can take a particle moving along the x-axis under some sort of a conservative force so that the potential energy with respect to x has some sort of a shape. All right. Something like this. I'm not taking a very specific function right now. I'm just taking a very random example. All right. So depending upon the position of the particle, there are a few things we can conclude about the nature of the motion. So we have 1D motion where whatever the forces are involved is equal to minus dV upon dx. So here we are doing an analysis of the potential energy function. Okay. And by doing an analysis of the potential energy function, we can make some conclusions regarding what is the amount of force that is experienced by the particle, right? So if you look at this particular graph, can you tell me those points where the particle will experience a zero force just by looking at the diagram? सिर्फ diagram को देख करके ही can you make a conclusion where the particle is going to experience zero force? No. It's a random diagram and it's going in some curvy manner. I'm not giving you a mathematical function, but just by looking at a diagram, can you intuitively come to the conclusion where the particle is going to experience a zero force? Zero force means no force whatsoever.
यस सर, जहाँ पे इसका टेंजेंट जीरो हो जाता है अपने कर्व का, जहाँ पे मैक्सिमा है या फिर मिनिमा है एक
Yes,
पर्टिकुलर।
correct. Fine. So whenever you have a local maxima or a local minima, that is where the particle experiences zero force. How do we know that? We know that from the slope of this graph. Okay. So जो slope है potential energy का या फिर जो tangent है potential energy का, that gives you an idea about the force. So if I draw a slope here, if I draw a slope here, and if I draw a slope here, what is the tangent? जीरो है यहाँ पे जीरो है और यहाँ पे जीरो है. So by doing a very quick diagrammatic analysis of the potential energy function, we can immediately come to a conclusion that there are certain locations where the particle is experiencing completely zero force. मैथमेटिकली हमने कुछ कैलकुलेशन नहीं करा यहाँ पे तक, हमने जस्ट एक डायग्रामेटिक विजुअलाइजेशन से ही इसको कंक्लूड किया है. सो फॉर एग्जांपल, at this location I call this as x1, and at this location I call this as x2. This is where the slope is zero. So if the particle is somewhere here, slope is zero. If the particle is somewhere here, slope is zero. Zero slope means no force. No net force. Okay. Now these points where the particle experiences zero force, these points are known as equilibrium points. Okay. So I'm going to call this as equilibrium points. Okay. So these are equilibrium points where the particle experiences complete zero force. So here the slope equals zero, slope equals zero. But both the maxima as well as the minima are not necessarily similar in terms of the behavior around it. So for example, we can look at the motion around the maxima versus the motion around the minima. So let us take the maxima first. So what is the maxima? The maxima is x1. So if you look at x1, there is zero force. So because of zero force, there is no motion. If the object was originally at rest, it will remain at rest. However, if I slightly displace the particle from the maxima to somewhat to the left. So for example, if I displace the particle to x1 minus, so that means to the left. Now can you tell me in which direction it will experience a force, or will it experience a force at all?
Yes, sir. I think in positive direction.
You are saying that the particle will experience a force in the forward direction.
Yes.
Why?
सर इसका
Sir,
स्लोप
because of
पॉजिटिव है,
equilibrium.
पॉजिटिव डायरेक्शन राइट साइड मान के चल रहे हैं.
तो राइट साइड की तरफ इसको एक फोर्स लगेगा. हाउ डू यू कम टू दैट कंक्लूजन?
सर इसका स्लोप पॉजिटिव है ना, मतलब अगर हम
इसका स्लोप पॉजिटिव है, ठीक है, करेक्ट है. जो पोटेंशियल है with respect to x उसका स्लोप पॉजिटिव है, दैट इज परफेक्टली फाइन. बट यहां पे एक नेगेटिव साइन दिख रहा है आपको? कैन यू सी दिस नेगेटिव साइन?
Yes, sir. फिर तो
Force
opposite
is equal to minus dv upon dx, not dv upon dx. Force is the negative gradient of the potential energy function. तो अगर potential energy function का slope positive है तो force क्या होगा?
negative
Negative. तो force की direction क्या होगी?
left side.
Left side में. So force लगेगा आपका इस तरफ. This is where the force is going to act. So at this location, minus dv upon dx at x is equal to x1 minus लिख देता हूं मैं. x1 minus मतलब लेफ्ट हैंड साइड की तरफ. ठीक है? This is negative. So particle experiences a net force in the negative direction. Right? Particle experiences a net non-zero force in negative axis. So therefore the particle will start moving in a left hand side direction. So if I displace the particle slightly to the left of the maxima, it will experience a force that eventually takes it away from the maxima. Okay? All right. Now let's look at a slight displacement to the right. If I displace the particle slightly to the right, what is the nature of the force acting on the particle now? x1 plus matlab particle has been slightly displaced to the right. So what is the nature of the force acting now?
Towards right, sir.
Towards right hand side direction. So minus dv upon dx at x is equal to x1 plus, which simply means that because the slope here is negative and force is negative of the slope, so force becomes positive. And because force becomes positive, so therefore the particle will experience a force in the positive x-axis. So यहाँ पे आपके पास आएगा particle experiences a net non-zero force in positive axis. Keep in mind that the effect of both these two forces, is to take the particle away from the equilibrium. ठीक है? So यहाँ पे मैं लिख देता हूँ. So maxima का effect क्या है? What is the effect of the maxima? The particle once displaced moves away from equilibrium. And because of this reason, the maximas are known as unstable equilibrium. Okay? So for example, if you toss a coin, it may land on its side, but it is very vulnerable to small disturbances. Even a small disturbance is going to force it to move away from its original equilibrium, and therefore maximas are known as unstable equilibrium. But what about minimas? So if you look at the minima, if I displace a particle towards the left, यहाँ पे, ठीक है, f x2 minus, what is the nature of the force acting on the particle, बताइए.
Towards right, sir.
Towards the right. So the slope here is negative, but because it is minus dv upon dx, so x is equal to x to negative. So therefore this comes out to be positive. Okay, so particle experiences a net non-zero force. Particle experiences a net non-zero force in positive axis. And if I displace the particle slightly to the right, यहाँ पे क्या होगा? fx2 plus, what is the nature of the force? बताइए, it will be positive or negative?
Negative, sir.
The nature of the force will be negative. So ये negative होगा. So particle experiences a non-zero force in negative axis. And what is the effect of this? The effect of this is that particle को अगर मैंने लेफ्ट की तरफ डिस्प्लेस किया तो इट विल एक्सपीरियंस अ फोर्स टुवर्ड्स द इक्विलिब्रियम. पार्टिकल को अगर मैंने राइट की तरफ डिस्प्लेस किया तो इट विल अगेन एक्सपीरियंस अ फोर्स टुवर्ड्स द इक्विलिब्रियम. So no matter how much I displace the particle from the equilibrium, it eventually wants to come back to the equilibrium. So this is the distinction between the maxima and the minima. So if you look at the maxima में क्या हो रहा है? If I slightly displace the particle away from the equilibrium, it will experience a force that eventually takes it further away from the equilibrium position. So therefore it's called an unstable equilibrium. But अगर हम minima की बात करें, minima is interesting in the sense that if I slightly displace the particle from the equilibrium, it will eventually experience a force which brings it back to its original equilibrium position. It's like a spring mass system. If I take it away from the equilibrium, it will eventually come back to its equilibrium configuration. So therefore you have a maxima which represents an unstable equilibrium, and you have a minima which represents a stable equilibrium. Okay, stable equilibrium. Okay, so the particle once displaced, I think most of you already know this, but it would be a revision, I would say. The particle once displaced moves towards the equilibrium. ठीक है? All right, so this is an analysis of how we can conclude about the nature of the motion of any kind of a particle just by doing a simple visual inspection of the potential energy function. ठीक है? अगर मैं इसको एक तरीके से वो करूं, like I give you a simple chart. So if you have some kind of a local maxima, or if you have some kind of a local minima, then what happens is that, so if you have a maxima, it is a stable equilibrium point, and if you have a minima, then sorry, मैंने उल्टा बोल दिया. If you have a maxima, you have an unstable equilibrium point. And you have a minima, you have a stable equilibrium point. Okay, so unstable equilibrium point में हम एक और चीज बोल सकते हैं, that if you take the second order derivative of the potential at the maxima, क्या होगा ये? मैक्सिमा में सेकेंड ऑर्डर डेरिवेटिव क्या होता है? पॉजिटिव होता है, नेगेटिव होता है, जीरो होता है?
Sir, this will be
नेगेटिव।
नेगेटिव होता है. Okay, so the first order derivative is 0. And the second order derivative is negative. Jabki if you look at a minima, the first order derivative is 0. But the second order derivative is positive. Okay, so if you want to make a conclusion about the nature of the equilibrium point, you can simply check the second order derivative. You will get an idea whether you are dealing with a maxima or a minima. There are certain situations where you might end up getting some sort of a plateau. तो plateau में क्या होगा? If a particle is in a plateau, so plateau में क्या होगा? Not only the derivative will be equal to 0, but the second order derivative will be equal to also 0. These are known as neutral equilibrium points. All right, बताइए यहाँ तक clear है? Have you guys understood till this point? Everybody in the class, बताइए. कोई डाउट है तो आप पूछ सकते हैं. Devanshi, yes. What about the others? Is it clear? Can I move forward?
yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So now यहाँ पे जो behavior हमें काफी interesting मिलता है, it is the behavior around the minima. So you see the minima here. If I displace an object from the minima, even slightly, it experiences a force that brings it back to its equilibrium point. But as it comes down to its equilibrium point, it gathers some velocity, shoots past to the other side, loses energy, comes back down, gathers some velocity, shoots past the equilibrium point, goes up, loses velocity, again comes back down, and you end up getting this kind of an oscillatory motion. So this behavior of motion around a potential minima is very interesting because you end up getting oscillatory motion. So let us study that also first before we move forward. So nature of oscillations about a stable equilibrium point. Nature of oscillations about a stable equilibrium point. Yes, oscillations. So oscillations क्यों हो रहा है? Because as I just now explained, if I displace a particle to the right, it will come back down, but as it comes down, it gains some velocity. So because of the velocity, it will shoot past to go to the other side. And again, it will lose energy and it will come back down. And as it comes back down, it will gain some velocity. And because of the velocity, it shoots past to go to the other side. And in the absence of any friction or dissipative force, this kind of an oscillation keeps on happening repeatedly. Okay? So the motion around a stable equilibrium point is some sort of a oscillation. But what is the nature of that oscillation? Anybody? What is the nature of that oscillation? कोई बता सकता है? What is the nature of that oscillation? वो ऑसिलेशन किस तरह का होगा? कैन यू मेक सम स्पेसिफिक क्लेम्स अबाउट दैट ऑसिलेशन? पढ़ा होगा ना आप लोगों ने ये सब चीजें तो कॉलेज में. Let's suppose I have a minima here. Okay, I have a minima centered at x naught, having some arbitrary potential magnitude v naught. ठीक है? Let us try to understand the motion around a minima. It will go forever means SHM. SHM का definition क्या था? हमने discuss करा है, simple harmonic motion. But let's see whether we actually get that or not. So Vx is some potential energy function, has a minima at x is equal to x naught. ठीक है? Now, if Vx is a simple single valued continuous function, then we can always do a Taylor series expansion of Vx. You know, you guys are familiar with expansion of various functions. Mathematical physics में आप लोगों ने पढ़ा होगा. So if I want to expand Vx around x naught, तो क्या होगा? सबसे पहला टर्म टेलर सीरीज एक्सपेंशन आप लोगों ने पढ़ा होगा. Are you familiar with it? What is Taylor series expansion? You're familiar with it? Yes. Do you know how to expand some function like sin x? Yeah, e to the power x? Yeah, log x? Have you studied this in mathematical physics? मतलब in your college आप लोग थर्ड ईयर में यूजुअली तो फर्स्ट ईयर में पढ़ते हैं. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So tell me, what is the first term if I expand Vx about
V
the
at
point
x naught.
Vx naught, है ना? Vx
Yes,
naught.
sir.
उसके बाद दूसरा टर्म क्या होगा?
Vx
X
naught
minus
by
x naught
X minus x naught times
dv by dx.
dv by dx at evaluated at
X is equal to x naught.
x naught. उसके बाद
X minus x square. X naught whole square.
x minus x naught whole
2 factorial.
dv by
2
d2v
factorial
by d.
आएगा. 2 factorial
Yes,
आएगा.
sir.
d2v upon dx2 evaluated at x naught plus on and on. So if I give you a simple Taylor series expansion, it looks like this. So if you have a function f of x and you want to evaluate f of x around some point x naught, so you basically end up getting fx naught plus x minus x naught f dash x naught plus 1 by 2 factorial x minus x naught square f double dash x naught plus on and on. So you essentially end up getting what? You end up getting a infinite series. In fact, you can always write functions like, you know, sin x, cos x, exponential to the power x, etc. in the form of a infinite series sum. और आपको पता होना भी चाहिए वैसे, especially जैम के perspective से, you should be familiar with how to expand various mathematical functions. So is it the reason that the potential energy between two atoms we get a minima? Any bound system we get minima. I'll come to that. Just give me a moment. So now here we end up getting an infinite series sum. But if we look at dv upon dx, what is dv upon dx? At x naught? 0. dv upon dx at x naught is equal to 0. So therefore this term becomes 0. So हमारे पास बचा क्या? So we have Vx is equal to Vx naught plus half x minus x naught d2v upon dx2 at x naught plus higher order terms. Now, multiple things are involved here. We have chosen a very arbitrary origin here, O. हमने एक बहुत arbitrary origin choose किया है, एक very random origin choose किया है, because of which at location x naught we have the potential energy function v naught. लेकिन मैं origin यहाँ पे भी choose कर सकता था. I could have chosen the origin of x and vx graph here also. मैंने पहले भी एक दो बार आप लोगों को बताया है, इफ यू रिमेंबर प्रॉपरली, दैट पोटेंशियल एनर्जी का जो रेफरेंस होता है वो आर्बिट्ररी होता है, वो हमारे ऊपर है. I can make a choice of choosing the reference of a potential energy function, because the reference of a potential energy function makes no difference. It is the change in potential energy that makes a difference. Force is the change in potential energy, not the absolute value of potential energy. इसलिए हमने जब स्पेशली सिंपल पेंडुलम वगैरह का प्रॉब्लम करा था, इन सम केसेस आई चोज द सीलिंग एज द रेफरेंस, in some cases I chose the ground as a reference, in some cases I chose the lowest point as a reference. So reference हमेशा मेरी मर्जी होती है, क्योंकि reference से कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. Force is ultimately due to the change in potential energy that has nothing to do with the reference. The reference could be anything, right? So reference क्या करता है? Reference simply adds a constant to it. ठीक है? So अगर हम इसको origin के respect में ना देख करके मिनिमा जो एक्स नॉट पॉइंट है उसके रेस्पेक्ट में देखें, ठीक है? सो इफ वी चूज द ऑरिजिन सच दैट जो इक्विलिब्रियम पॉइंट है एक्स नॉट उसको मैं जीरो मान लेता हूं. आई हैव चोजन द ऑरिजिन लाइक दिस. और जो वी एक्स नॉट है एक्स एक्सिस और वाई एक्सिस उसको भी जीरो मान लेता हूं. So now then what expression I end up getting is, दोनों में कोई difference नहीं है बेटा, ठीक है? We are simply interested in the shape of the potential energy graph. The origin मेरा choice है, तो मैंने उसको इस तरह से अगर choose करूंगा तो I end up getting Vx is equal to half.
Vx नॉट को भी 0 लिख दिया, मतलब आपने y एक्सिस भी शिफ्ट कर दिया.
हाँ, Vx नॉट को भी 0 लिख दिया है, तो मैंने इसको यहाँ से यहाँ शिफ्ट कर दिया बेसिकली. Why? कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. It is just a shift of a constant. The constant makes no difference as to the nature of the motion. Why? Because the nature of the motion does not depend upon absolute value of potential energy. It only depends upon the change in potential energy. ठीक है?
Yes.
क्लियर है? आगे बढ़े. मैंने ओरिजिन यहाँ ले लिया. वैसे मैं स्टार्टिंग से ले सकता था, बट अभी मैं लास्ट पॉइंट पे ले करके मैंने तुम्हें दिखा दिया. Is it clear, guys? Can I move forward?
Yes, sir.
So if I choose the origin in this particular manner, so in that case I will get half, यहाँ पे square था, so d2 v upon dx2 evaluated at x naught x square plus higher order terms. Okay, तो अभी तक हमने simplify करा नहीं. So there are these higher order terms. What happens if I remove the higher order terms? What does it mean? See, this is the potential energy function that gives us an idea about the entire nature of the potential energy function. ठीक है? Whatever is the nature of it. The higher order terms, what they do is, if you look at this expression, it's a parabolic expression. The higher order terms makes modifications to the parabolic expressions. So if I only focus my attention onto the nature of motion around the equilibrium point, somewhere here. So I focus my attention just around the equilibrium point. I do not create too many displacements. तो अगर मैं ये करता हूं तो this is in physics known as small angle approximations. इसको फिजिक्स में बोलते हैं small angle या small displacement भी बोलते हैं. Small angle या small displacement approximation. So what happens if I can make the small angle या small displacement approximation? I can ignore the higher order terms. Okay, so अभी मैं सिर्फ एक छोटे से रीजन को स्टडी कर रहा हूं, higher order terms. And in that situation, the nature of the potential finally becomes Vx is equal to half d2v upon dx2 at x naught x square. ये बन गया हमारा potential energy expression. तो यहां पे if you look at this, d2v upon dx2 is some kind of a constant. दैट डिपेंड्स अपॉन द नेचर ऑफ द पोटेंशियल, ठीक है। लेकिन अगर हम एक्स एक्सिस को देखें तो दिस इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू व्हाट, Vx is proportional to x square. So if Vx is proportional to x square, then what do we get? We get a parabolic curve. तो मैं अगर इसको properly draw करूं, if I draw it in a detailed manner, I will get a parabolic curve. ठीक है? So if I take this here and I look at it here, so I end up getting a parabolic curve like this. So if I get a parabolic curve, इसका मतलब what kind of a system is this? ये है आपका Vx directly proportional to x square. Parabolic curve है ये. So Vx is equal to half some constant k x square. जबकि ये क्या था हमारा, ये नॉर्मल Vx था. So ब्लू कलर में जो Vx है that is the real potential, और रेड कलर में जो Vx है that is an approximation of small angle approximation, small displacements. ठीक है? तो अब मुझे बताइए, does it look like that this is a familiar potential that you have seen before? इसको क्या बोलते हैं? इसको क्या बोलते हैं? If you have a potential that is directly proportional to displacement square, then those kinds of systems are called what?
Simple harmonic.
Simple harmonic.
Oscillator.
It's called a harmonic oscillator. Okay, मैं दिखाता हूँ कैसे. Hooke's law को प्रूव कर सकते हैं हम यहाँ पे. Okay, so if I make a comparison with harmonic oscillator, so let's suppose if I say that Vx is equal to half kx square, where k is equal to d2v upon dx2 evaluated at x0, then what happens? Then I can calculate the force is equal to minus dv upon dx is equal to minus d upon dx of half kx square. ये क्या बन जाएगा? 2 कैंसिल माइनस kx, राइट? ये क्या हो गया आपका? क्या हो गया आपका? हुक्स लॉ. जब भी हुक्स लॉ आता है तो क्या होता है? You end up getting m d2x upon dt2 is equal to minus kx, or m d2x upon dt2 plus kx is equal to 0. And finally हमने उस दिन SHM में पढ़ा था, if you guys remember, d2x upon dt2 plus k upon mx is equal to 0. This is the nature of the equation of the motion. इसका solution क्या होता है? What is the solution of this? What is the solution of this differential equation?
X is equal to a cos omega t plus phi.
Very good. A cos
Omega.
omega t plus phi, where omega is equal to
Root k by m.
root k by m. Very good. So therefore, this is the nature of motion, and this is called simple harmonic motion. That's it. तो इतने सारा जो डिस्कशन हमने करा है उसका मतलब क्या है? उसका मतलब ये है, let me give you the final conclusion. If you have any kind of a potential that has a minima, any potential that has a minima, you can always, under small angle approximations, approximate that system to behave like a harmonic oscillator that executes simple harmonic oscillations. कोई भी सिस्टम हो फिजिक्स में, और हमसे मैकेनिक्स की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, you can look at the motion of earth around the sun, you will find a potential energy minima. You can look at the potential energy of two atoms which are bound together in a molecule. You will find a potential energy minima. You can look at the neutron and a proton which is bound together in a potential energy minima. Starting from the subatomic microscopic world to intergalactic systems, whenever particles come together in combined systems, you will find, if you calculate the potential energy of a system, that there is a potential energy minima. And whenever there is a potential energy minima, you can always, under small angular approximations, approximate the system to behave like a harmonic oscillator. And if it behaves like a harmonic oscillator, you end up getting simple harmonic oscillations. So therefore, you see what I have just demonstrated in front of you is not something that is peculiar to just mechanics. It is something that is universal. Harmonic oscillators exist everywhere. Everywhere. It is one of the most important systems that you can study in physics. Why? Because if you have a bound system होने का मतलब ही ये है कि पोटेंशियल एनर्जी का कोई मिनिमा होगा. मिनिमा नहीं होगा, मैक्सिमा होगा, तो अनबाउंड हो गया. और अगर मिनिमा है तो you can always approximate that system under sufficiently small displacements to behave like a harmonic oscillator and therefore execute simple harmonic oscillations. So you see the power of this calculation. ये जो मैंने सिंपल सा कैलकुलेशन आपके सामने रखा है ना, do you see the power of it? It encapsulates all kinds of bound systems, and all kinds of bound systems under sufficiently small displacements will behave like a harmonic oscillator and will execute simple harmonic oscillations. That's it. Done. और अगर आपको क्या, हाँ जी,
परसों सर क्लास में सॉलिड स्टेट की क्लास में पूरे पार्टिकल्स की स्टडी हुक्स लॉ पे हुई है हमारे कॉलेज में. पार्टिकल्स के बीच में जो फोर्सेस लग रहे हैं, कैसे वे पार्टिकल्स वाइब्रेट करते हैं, सब कुछ एसएचएम के बेस पे.
yes, so it all comes from here. तो जब भी आपके पास कोई भी बाउंड सिस्टम हो, चाहे वो सॉलिड स्टेट में जो आयंस होते हैं दे आर कंबाइंड टुगेदर इन एज अ क्रिस्टल लैटिस, तो वहाँ पे भी आपको इस तरह के पोटेंशियल मिनिमाज मिलेंगे. एंड इफ यू हैव अ पोटेंशियल मिनिमा, देन sufficiently small displacements or vibrations will automatically lead to simple harmonic oscillations, जिसको हम वाइब्रेशन बोलते हैं, मॉलिक्यूलर वाइब्रेशन हो या कुछ भी हो. ठीक है. और वो चीज सिर्फ सबएटॉमिक वर्ल्ड में ही नहीं, प्लैनेटरी मोशन में भी आपको देखने को मिलेगा. राइट. सो इट्स अक्रॉस द बोर्ड. So this is a very general rule which is very, very important, and it has a huge consequence throughout different subjects in physics. Vivek, you have a question. Those minimas are not local minimas, they are extremum. What do you mean, Vivek? Extremum means I am talking about any minima. I am talking about the motion around any minima. Could be a local minima. There could be oscillations about the local minima.
No, mostly if we consider a bound system, we will get like extremum minima, a single extremum.
Depends upon the displacement. So it depends upon this.
Yes, that's what I'm asking. Is it always like that extremum, or is it because of our observation, others, or something?
No, it is not necessarily have to be some extremum minima. So for example, if you have a system like this, there will be oscillations here, here, and here. It's only that we have to focus our attention to motion around this. So if a particle has this energy, तो वो particle तो execute नहीं करेगा, क्योंकि it has far greater energy. So it is able to displace itself to far greater lengths. So I'm only interested in those systems where the displacement is sufficiently low. So if I'm looking at a particle having this much energy, so that it can only go back and forth like this. Are you understanding? Or if a particle is trapped here. Are you understanding? So SHM is possible in any kind of a local minima as long as we subject our attention to a very specific, sufficiently small displacements. Are you understanding?
Yeah, I got it.
It has to be sufficiently small displacement.
Yes, it is.
If it is large displacement, then of course it's not true. It has to be sufficiently small.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So यहाँ से हम क्या conclude कर सकते हैं? From here, we can conclude that if you have a potential energy minima in a potential energy function Vx, then the angular frequency of oscillation is given by omega is equal to k upon m. But what is k? K is given by this d2v upon dx2 at x naught. So 1 upon m d2v upon dx2 at x naught square root. That's it. So this is an important relationship to calculate the angular frequency from the potential energy expression. So if you calculate the angular frequency, you can calculate frequency, you can calculate time period, etc. ठीक है, very important formula. All right. बताइए guys, सब कुछ clear है? Can I give you some questions to solve? Yes, okay. Just give me a moment. So this is the theory that we have just now discussed. The theory is very simple, but also it is very powerful. And you will find questions from this particular topic almost across various kinds of examinations. So let us do some questions and see how this theory can be useful for us. सर गामा सिंबल किसको रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है? गामा कहाँ है यहाँ पे? गामा और ओमेगा? आकर्ष
सर लास्ट वाले इक्वेशन के जो टाइम पीरियड लिखे हैं और एक गामा सिंबल है वो किसको रिप्रेजेंट
म्यू सॉरी
ओह।
frequency. So there is something called angular frequency and there is something called frequency. What is frequency? Frequency is equal to 1 upon time period. Yeah, na? Angular frequency is 2 pi upon time period. You know the difference?
यस
Okay. So as a general principle, any potential energy minima will demonstrate simple harmonic motion under sufficiently small displacements. Okay, all right. Please try this question from TIFR. A particle of mass m moves in one dimension under the influence of the potential energy Vx is equal to minus a upon x to the power L whole square plus b x to the power L 4, where a and b are positive constants and L is a characteristic length. The frequency of small oscillations about the point of stable equilibrium is how much? Try. Please solve this question.
Sir, what is characteristic length?
So they have not really given us any idea about the physical system. So you can think of it as a constant, don't worry about it. Moves in a dimension under influence of potential energy, and where x is the characteristic length, probably some equilibrium length of the system. So because they have not given us the system, it's difficult to say, but doesn't matter. You can think of it as a constant. Akshay, your answer is correct. What about the others? These are very standard questions. So TIFR हो, जैम हो, नेट हो, गेट हो, इस तरह के क्वेश्चन आपको मिल सकते हैं. You will be given some potential energy function and you will be asked to figure out frequency or angular frequency or time period or something like that, जो आप डायरेक्ट फॉर्मूला से फिगर आउट कर सकते हो, जो फॉर्मूला मैंने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले आपको बताया. दिस फॉर्मूला, यू कैन यूज दिस फॉर्मूला टू फिगर आउट एनी वन ऑफ दोस क्वांटिटीज. Rakesh and Sampurnananda also correct answer. उत्तम करेक्ट आंसर, स्वर्णवा ऑल्सो करेक्ट आंसर, वेरी गुड। ठीक है, मैं स्टार्ट कर देता हूँ। इफ यू आर हैविंग एनी डिफिकल्टी यू प्लीज टेक अ लुक एट द स्टेप्स। द स्टेप्स आर वेरी सिंपल। First, what you do is you do an analysis of the potential energy function to find out the equilibrium points. First of all, that's what you do. You find out the equilibrium points. So find minimas. How can you find minimas? You do a derivative, make it equal to 0. The solution will give you extremum points. So if I do a derivative, let us see what we get as a result of it. So this is minus 2ax plus 4 minus 2ax upon L square plus 4bx cube upon L to the power 4. यही है ना? So therefore this becomes 2ax upon L square is equal to 4bx cube upon L to the power 4. So L square और L to the power 4 तो cancel हो गया. X is equal to 0 is one solution. The other solution is क्या होगा? X is equal to यहाँ पे 2 आ जाएगा. So a upon 2b root over plus minus. So how many equilibrium points are there? अच्छा L square भी है, sorry, L square. How many equilibrium points are there? How many equilibrium points are there? Three
Three.
equilibrium points are there.
Three.
ठीक है, 3 equilibrium points. So if you have the x-axis, x is equal to 0 पे एक point होगा, x is equal to plus root over a L square upon 2b पे होगा, और x is equal to minus root over a L square upon 2b. So यहाँ पे भी equilibrium point है, यहाँ पे भी है, यहाँ पे भी है. Can you guess the shape of the potential energy function? Guess कर पाएगा कोई? गेस करने के लिए हमें यह मालूम होना चाहिए कि मैक्सिमा क्या है, मिनिमा क्या है, तो वो भी फिगर आउट कर लेते हैं. सो सेकेंड ऑर्डर डेरिवेटिव्स. So let us find out d2v upon dx2 at x is equal to 0. So this is equal to minus 2ax upon L square plus 4bx cube upon L to the power 4 and d upon dx of this at x is equal to 0. So this is equal to minus 2a upon L square plus 12bx square upon L to the power 4 at x is equal to 0. So this becomes minus 2a L square. Because L is the length, it cannot be negative. So therefore, this whole thing is negative, which means x is equal to 0 is x is equal to 0 is a
मैक्सिमा.
x is a maxima, so it is not important for us. ठीक है? Now if we look at the other quantity, so d2v upon dx2 at x is equal to plus minus root over al square upon 2b. So this is equal to d by dx of minus 2ax upon L square plus 4bx cube upon L to the power 4 at x is equal to al square upon 2b root over plus minus. So this is equal to how much? Minus 2a upon L square plus 12bx square upon L to the power 4. X is equal to plus minus root over al square upon 2b. So therefore this becomes minus 2a upon L square plus 12b upon L to the power 4. और यहाँ पे क्या होगा? X square is equal to al square upon 2b. So ये बन जाएगा L square L, हाँ 2 से ये हो जाएगा 6b cancel. So this becomes minus 2a upon L square plus 6a upon L square. So therefore this is equal to 4a upon L square, which is greater than 0. Therefore these 2 points, x is equal to plus minus root over al square upon 2b are minimas. अब मुझे एक बात बताइए, ये जो है आपका मिनिमा है, ये आपका मिनिमा है और ये आपका मैक्सिमा है. So can you guess the shape of the potential energy function? Can you guess the shape of the potential energy function? Anybody?
यस सर.
बताइए कैसा दिखेगा?
वो सर एक माउंटेन डिक्रीज किया हुआ दिखेगा, एक्स पे उसका पीक है, फिर वो माउंटेन डिक्रीज किया, फिर इंक्रीज किया, इस तरह का.
Will it look like a W or an M?
यस, डब्ल्यू सर, डब्ल्यू.
It'll look like a W? Okay. सबको समझ में आ रहा है? It should look like a W. यहाँ पे उसका मैक्सिमा है, यहाँ पे मिनिमा है, यहाँ पे मैक्सिमा है, यहाँ पे मिनिमा है. बताइए everybody, this is going to be very helpful for you. Being able to visualize a potential energy diagram is very helpful, trust me. तो थोड़ा सा अगर आप विजुअलाइज कर पाएंगे ना तो आपका आसान हो जाएगा बहुत सारी चीजें. यहां पे क्या है? मैक्सिमा है, यहां पे क्या है? मिनिमा है. सभी लोग, एवरीबडी इन द क्लास, will the potential energy function look like a W? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
ऑल राइट, तो मैं इसको ड्रॉ करके मैथमेटिका से मतलब सॉफ्टवेयर से ड्रॉ करके दिखा देता हूँ. ठीक है, हमारे पास कौन सा फंक्शन था? हमारे पास था ये. सो y इज इक्वल टू माइनस एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस एक्स टू द पावर 4, एवरीथिंग एल्स इज अ कांस्टेंट. तो इसको मैं अगर वो कर दूं सॉफ्टवेयर से, इसको वो कर दूं माइनस एक्स स्क्वायर, ये क्या दिखेगा? ये बन गया आपका w. दिस इज द शेप, जनरल शेप of your potential energy function. Take a look at it. The moment you see this, देखिए I am taking a lot of time because I want you to understand it properly. ठीक है, आपको एक बार चीजें समझ में आ जाएंगी तो things will become very easy for you. So this is the shape, the general shape of your potential energy diagram. Okay, the general shape. तो यहाँ पे क्या है आपका? So here it's not 1, this is also not 1, this is also not 1. So this is basically Vx and this is x. So here you have a minima, here you have a minima. So in this minima, the particle can experience oscillations under sufficiently small displacements. In this minima, the particle can experience oscillations under sufficiently small displacements. So therefore, about the minima, which is x is equal to plus minus al square upon 2b, पूछा क्या हमसे? हमसे पूछा है what is the frequency of small oscillations. Frequency of small oscillations is how much? So nu is equal to 1 upon 2 pi omega, right? So therefore the frequency of small oscillations is nu is equal to omega upon 2 pi, which is equal to 1 upon 2 pi. Omega is equal to 1 upon m d2v upon dx2 evaluated at x is equal to plus minus root over AL स्क्वायर अपॉन 2B। तो इवेल्युएट करेंगे तो क्या आएगा, यही आएगा बेसिकली। तो इसको अगर हम यूज करेंगे तो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी 1/2 पाई स्क्वायर रूट 4A अपॉन ml स्क्वायर। सो दिस इज इक्वल टू 2 और 2 हो जाएगा कैंसिल, 1/पाई L रूट ओवर A अपॉन M। ये होना चाहिए आंसर। हाँ यही आंसर है, 1/पाई L रूट ओवर A अपॉन M। ऑप्शन नंबर बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर। ऑप्शन नंबर बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर। कार्तिक, क्वेश्चन करेक्ट आंसर। बताइए, सबको समझ में आ गया? दिस इज अ वेरी पावरफुल मेथड ऑफ एनालाइजिंग बाउंड सिस्टम्स इफ यू आर फेमिलियर विथ द पोटेंशियल एनर्जी फंक्शन। क्लियर है सभी लोग?
सर बाउंड
हाँ जी।
सिस्टम और अनबाउंड सिस्टम का मतलब क्या है?
बाउंड सिस्टम मतलब कोई भी सिस्टम पोटेंशियल मिनिमा में होता है तो उससे बाहर नहीं निकल सकता ना। सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर पार्टिकल यहां पे है तो ये एक तरीके से कुआं हो गया ना, आप यहां से बाहर नहीं जा सकते हो। आपका एनर्जी अगर इतना है, ठीक है, तो आप इसी के बीच रहोगे। तो योर मोशन इज बाउंडेड बिटवीन x इज इक्वल टू माइनस डेल्टा एंड x इज इक्वल टू प्लस डेल्टा। जिंदगी भर आप यही काटोगे, इससे बाहर नहीं निकल पाओगे। तो ये हो गया बाउंडेड मोशन, ठीक है। लेकिन अगर पार्टिकल यहां पे है तो ये तो अनबाउंडेड हो गया ना, ये इंफिनिटी तक जाएगा, इंफिनिटी तक जाएगा ये, समझ रहे हो? इट इज गोइंग टू इंफिनिटी। तो बोथ बाउंडेड सिस्टम्स एंड अनबाउंडेड सिस्टम्स आर पॉसिबल। सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल, हमारा जो प्लैनेटरी मोशन होता है, अर्थ इज बाउंड टू द सन, अर्थ इज बाउंड टू द सन। लेकिन कभी कभार दूर से कोई कॉमेट आता है, अर्थ के अराउंड स्विंग करता है, माइनस इंफिनिटी से आता है, प्लस इंफिनिटी तक निकल जाता है। तो वो सारे होते हैं अनबाउंडेड सिस्टम्स। मतलब कभी कभार वो इंटरैक्ट करने के लिए आ जाता है दूर से, फिर निकल के इंफिनिटी तक चला जाता है। इट्स नॉट फॉर एवर अ पार्ट ऑफ द सोलर सिस्टम, सन ग्रेविटेशनल फील्ड। आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग? सो यहाँ पे पार्टिकल इंटरैक्ट्स विद a potential, but it is not bound to the potential. It will go to infinity as long as it can keep going. जबकि यहाँ पे the particle is restricted in its motion in a certain region. So Earth का जो motion है, it is bounded. Electron का जो motion है around the nucleus, it is bounded. But दूर से अगर कोई एस्टेरॉइड या प्लैनेटरी ऑब्जेक्ट आता है, सोलर सिस्टम के साथ इंटरैक्ट करता है, करने के बाद फिर निकल जाता है, वो अनबाउंडेड होता है। मेक सेंस? यस और नो?
यस सर।
ऑलराइट, लेट मी गिव यू अनदर सिमिलर क्वेश्चन। जिनसे नहीं हो पाया था, यू मेक श्योर दैट यू सॉल्व द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन एटलीस्ट। जल्दी से, quickly, please try to solve this next question, because if you will be able to solve this question, as a bonus I will teach you something extra, something very relevant, but it all depends upon time. If you take up a lot of time, मैं जा नहीं पाऊंगा वहां पे। Okay, so this is the next question for you. A particle of mass m moves in a 1D potential given by 1/3 alpha x cube plus 1/4 beta x to the power 4. One of the equilibrium points is x to the power 0, x is equal to 0. The angular frequency of small oscillations about the other equilibrium point is what? Take 3 minutes, solve the question. Akshay, correct answer. Vivek, correct answer. Akarsh, correct answer. Karthik, correct answer. Monzurul, correct answer. Monzurul, second option is correct. Try कीजिए सब लोग. If all of you can solve it, I will skip this question and move on to our next topic, which is very interesting, related to this one. Rakesh Malik, correct answer. Yeah, I'm giving you some time. Take 2 more minutes. I'm just coming in a moment. Kashan also correct. Sir, if potential is 2D or 3D, then how do we solve for that? उस केस में there are very complicated scenarios. ऐसे एग्जाम में तो नहीं आएगा. So you need a potential minima along all the 3 axes. So for example, do you know what a saddle point is? Saddle point क्या है पता है?
जहाँ पे मैक्सिमा और ना मिनिमा कुछ नहीं.
हाँ,
जहाँ पे डबल डिफरेंशिएशन 0 है 2D 3D।
घोड़े के ऊपर जब कोई इंसान बैठता है तो उसको क्या बोलते हैं जो घोड़े के ऊपर रखते हैं?
सैडल।
सैडल बोलते हैं। उसका शेप कैसे होता है? सैडल। जो घोड़े के ऊपर सैडल होता है ना, उसका शेप कैसे होता है, कभी नोटिस किया है? इफ यू लुक एट दिस शेप, तो यहाँ पे क्या होता है, देयर इज एन इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग दैट्स हैपनिंग हियर इज दैट अगर आप लेट्स सपोज दिस इज द एक्स एक्सिस एंड लेट्स सपोज दिस इज द वाई एक्सिस, तो अलोंग द एक्स एक्सिस अगर हम देखेंगे तो यू विल गेट अ मिनिमा, राइट? बट अगर अलोंग द वाई एक्सिस हम देखेंगे तो यू विल गेट अ मैक्सिमा. डू यू सी दिस?
Yes, sir. It's look like it's chips.
Yeah, so it's like a
Finger chips.
along the x-axis you have a minima, but along the y-axis you have a maxima. So overall अगर हम इसको देखें तो this is a unstable equilibrium point. तो 2D और 3D में अगर आप प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग करोगे ना तो you will have to make sure that the equilibrium point is an equilibrium point with respect to x, y and z axis. सिर्फ एक के रेस्पेक्ट में होना काफी नहीं है, तीनों के रेस्पेक्ट में होना पड़ेगा, ठीक है? और अगर तीनों के रेस्पेक्ट में करोगे उसके बाद आपका क्या निकल के आएगा? ओमेगा एक्स निकल के आएगा, ओमेगा वाई निकल के आएगा, ओमेगा जेड निकल के आएगा. So this is known as an anisotropic harmonic oscillator, which has different components of angular frequency along different directions. तो अभी हम क्या कर रहे हैं, हम सिर्फ ओमेगा निकाल रहे हैं, पर 3D केस में अगर आप सॉल्व करोगे तो with respect to x, y and z axis you will get 3 different components, omega x, omega y, omega z, और वो सब तब जब it is a minima with respect to x, y and z axis at the same point. क्लियर है? लेकिन एग्जाम में नहीं पूछेंगे ये सब चीजें, ठीक है? ऑलराइट. Arohi, your answer is correct. Ruchir Kashan, correct answer. So is it natural that a bounded system will have a boundary condition like particle inside potential well, pendulum, etc., or in exceptions? Yeah, boundary conditions are possible. It depends upon the detailed nature of the potential problem. Boundary conditions are definitely possible. If I create something like this has a boundary condition, right? So it depends upon the detailed nature of the problem. अच्छा, एक बात बताइए, can I skip this problem and I move on to the next topic? I will share the solution in the PDF. जब मैं PDF share करूंगा, I will share the solution. But let me skip it and move on to the next topic, okay? Next topic मतलब यही topic है, but थोड़ा सा advance है, ठीक है? All right. So, if you notice here, I did the potential energy analysis with respect to which variable? X, right? X के respect पे करा है कि नहीं? I did the potential energy analysis with respect to X. Yes or no? So essentially the particle is moving in the X axis. But जरूरी थोड़ी है कि हमेशा variable is going to be X. So for example, if I do calculations of let's suppose a pendulum, pendulum का कौन सा variable है? X थोड़ी है. Pendulum का variable है theta.
थीटा.
So the question is, can I borrow the same analysis for theta as well? And the answer is, I cannot. So therefore, let me rederive this for polar coordinates so that जहां पे भी रोटेशन होगा, बेसिकली ये टॉपिक रोटेशन के अंदर आता है, बट मैं रोटेशन में अलग से बताऊंगा, इससे अच्छा अभी पढ़ा रहा हूं तो अभी बता देता हूं. So let us do the calculation again, but with respect to theta this time. Okay. So that if you get a problem jahan pe there is rotation involved and jahan pe there is theta involved, then you should not make a mistake. वो मिस्टेक को आप अवॉइड कर पाओ, ठीक है? तो ये क्वेश्चन मैं बाद में शेयर कर दूंगा. So let us look at rotational motion. And this will also give you a very quick formula for compound pendulum related problems. But वो ये पढ़ेंगे तो वो automatically derive हो जाएगा. So, what if you have some kind of a system which is experiencing rotation and therefore you are interested in a potential energy expression for theta. Okay, ऐसे situation में क्या होगा? So for example, if you have a simple pendulum, okay, and the simple pendulum is this, okay, it has a length L, it has an angle theta, and if we calculate, let's suppose from the bottom the height h, so what is going to be the potential energy expression? V is equal to mgh, which is equal to mgh is equal to L minus L cos theta. So if you notice, for a simple pendulum, the potential energy function is a function of theta, V theta, okay, for a simple pendulum. It is not a function of x, it is a function of theta. This is a quick example that we have a system where the potential energy is a function of theta. और सिर्फ यही simple pendulum नहीं है, we can have other systems as well. So we can have any compound pendulum that is experiencing some rotation about a point, and I am interested in calculating whatever the displacement or the potential energy function जो भी है, ठीक है, कोई भी compound pendulum हो सकता है. तो ऐसे cases में what do we do? ऐसे cases में you have a potential energy function which looks like this, ठीक है. This can also be approximated as a harmonic oscillator. ये दिखता कैसे पता है आपको? MGL को अगर मैं 1 मान लूं तो ये क्या होगा, कोई बता सकता है? How would it look like? Cos theta एक्सप्रेशन है, 1 minus cos theta क्या होगा? 1 minus cos theta.
2 sin square theta by 2.
नहीं, मैं डायग्राम की बात कर रहा हूं. डायग्राम कैसा दिखेगा? cos theta ऐसा दिखता है ना, ये cos theta है, तो 1 minus cos theta होगा आपका 1 minus cos theta, 1 minus cos theta, 1 plus cos theta, उल्टा हो जाएगा, ये होगा बेसिकली.
जो साइन स्क्वायर आ रहा है ना तो ऊपर ही रहेगा.
ये होगा ना,
यस.
ये हुआ. तो दिस इज द पोटेंशियल एनर्जी फंक्शन ऑफ अ पेंडुलम, है कि नहीं? दिस इज द पोटेंशियल एनर्जी फंक्शन ऑफ अ पेंडुलम. तो यहां पे अगर मैं छोटा सा एक डिस्प्लेसमेंट यहां पे ले लूं, दिस इज अ स्टेबल इक्विलिब्रियम, तो मैं अगर इस मोशन को देखूंगा तो यहां पे आई कैन क्रिएट अ हार्मोनिक ऑसिलेटर. V इज इक्वल टू हाफ के थीटा स्क्वायर. कर सकता हूं कि नहीं, बताइए? बहुत डीप सब्जेक्ट है, मैं बहुत कंसाइसली एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूं, बट आई होप दैट इज यू आर फॉलोइंग इट. देयर आर equilibrium points in the potential energy expression of a simple pendulum, and under sufficiently small displacements I can approximate it by harmonic oscillator. Yes or no, everybody?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
sir.
yes. So now let's start from here. By the way, ये जो डायग्राम है बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है, बट कभी और, ठीक है. इसमें यूजुअली नेट के बच्चों को मैं पढ़ाता हूँ, हम लोग जब फेज डायग्राम बनाते हैं बट सिंपल पेंडुलम का. सो इट इज़ अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग डायग्राम, बट आप लोग के लिए फेज डायग्राम ज़रूरी नहीं है, अब बस हम पोटेंशियल एनर्जी एनालिसिस कर रहे हैं. सो लेट अस स्टार्ट विथ दिस. So v theta is equal to half k theta square. कहाँ से लेके आया हूँ? अभी मैंने आपको बताया. Whenever you have a bound system, you can always approximate that bound system as a harmonic oscillator under sufficiently small displacements. तो यहाँ पे भी, as I showed you using the potential energy minima of the potential energy minima, you can sufficiently approximate the potential energy function as a harmonic oscillator under small angular displacements. तो ऐसे सिचुएशन में मैं अगर, क्योंकि मैं रोटेशनल मोशन की बात कर रहा हूं, सो यहां पे टॉर्क क्या होगा? टॉर्क विल बी इक्वल टू माइनस डीवी अपॉन डी थीटा. ठीक है ना? जिस तरह से हमारे पास क्या था, F इज इक्वल टू माइनस dv अपॉन dx, राइट? जहां पे v जो है हाफ के एक्स स्क्वायर है, राइट? उसी तरीके से वी आर सब्सटीट्यूटिंग x विथ थीटा नाउ. ऑलराइट, बट व्हाट इज टॉर्क? टॉर्क इज इक्वल टू मास टाइम्स एंगुलर एक्सेलरेशन. सो देयरफॉर दिस बिकम्स मास नहीं होगा, क्या होगा? Moment of inertia. So torque is equal to moment of inertia times angular acceleration. Is that clear? मतलब मैंने ये सब बताया नहीं है, but I hope that you know that torque acting on a rotating system is equal to moment of inertia times angular acceleration. Angular acceleration is nothing but d2 angular displacement upon dt2, and moment of inertia is the rotational analog of mass that essentially resists any kind of a change in rotational motion. So what is this equal to? This is equal to minus d upon d theta half k theta square. So what is this? This is I alpha is equal to minus k theta. हो गया? तो ये क्या बना फिर? So this is equal to I d2 theta upon dt2 plus k theta is equal to 0. This becomes d2 theta upon dt2 plus k upon I theta is equal to 0. इंटरेस्टिंग बात क्या है? इंटरेस्टिंग बात यह है कि जब हम x के रेस्पेक्ट में कर रहे थे ना, इफ यू लुक एट दिस कैलकुलेशन, तो मुझे यहां क्या मिला था? k अपॉन m मिला था. I got k upon m. The only difference that I see the moment I go to rotation is that यहां पे मुझे मिलता है k upon I. M has been replaced with I. That's it, nothing else. So if I say omega square is equal to k upon I, then automatically the solution to this is theta t is equal to a cos omega t plus phi. That means I end up getting simple harmonic motion with angular frequency. What is angular frequency? Omega is equal to k upon I, root over k upon I, which means this is equal to 1 upon I d2v upon d theta 2 at theta naught square root. That's it. This is the only difference. If you remember this difference, बाकी सब चीजें सेम है. जब हम x axis के रेस्पेक्ट में कर रहे थे, what were we doing? Where we were only including mass, the point mass of the system. But जब हम रोटेशन में शिफ्ट हो गए, तो हमने क्या करा? We substituted mass has been substituted with moment of inertia. So therefore, for example, अगर मैं यहाँ पे टाइम पीरियड कैलकुलेट करता हूं, so time period will be 2 pi upon omega. So this is going to be equal to 2 pi square root of, क्या होगा ये? I upon d2v upon d theta 2 at theta naught. ये होगा ना? That's it. So if you are familiar with any kind of a system, even if it is a compound pendulum, you can calculate the time period as well as the angular frequency of that compound pendulum as long as you know the moment of inertia of that particular system. That's all, nothing else. So what is I? I is the moment of inertia. बताइए, are you following? Follow कर पा रहे हो? Making sense? Yes or no? Are you guys familiar with moment of inertia? Moment of
Yes,
inertia क्या
sir.
है पता है? पता
Yes,
है.
sir.
Moment of inertia पता है. ठीक
सर,
है. हाँ जी.
is moment of inertia and inertial mass same?
Inertial mass is just mass. Moment of inertia is inertial mass times r square.
Okay.
mr square होता है ना समेशन. पढ़ा होगा. मैं
Yes, sir.
डिटेल में बताऊंगा जब हम रोटेशन पढ़ेंगे. बट फॉर द टाइम बिंग आई एम गिविंग यू अ सिंपल क्वेश्चन. प्लीज ट्राई दिस क्वेश्चन. सी इफ यू कैन सॉल्व इट. एक सवाल देता हूं मैं आप लोगों को. या प्लीज ट्राई दिस. यहाँ पे बाय द वे मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया जो है d2v अपॉन dt2 क्या होगा? d2v अपॉन dt2 विल बी d theta 2, sorry not t, d theta 2 is minus k theta mgl sin theta. जो भी, आप इसको ट्राई कीजिए प्लीज. स्मॉल ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ मास m slides along the surface of a smooth fixed bowl of radius r. The angular frequency of small oscillations about the lowest point is what? So you can see that there is a bowl here, and in that bowl there is some sort of a motion that is happening. I don't know if it's appropriate to ask this now. What is separatrix? Can you please explain in a simple manner? Separatrix is something that is a boundary between two distinct behavior. So sometimes what happens is that in a given system, you can see bounded motion as well as unbounded motion depending upon the amount of energy. So that boundary in phase space within which you get bounded motion, but outside you get unbounded motion, that is known as a separatrix. Is that definition sufficient, Vivek? So I'll give you an example, Vivek. I'll give you an example. So imagine that you have a bar pendulum, Vivek. You're familiar with the bar pendulum, right, Vivek?
Yes, we did experiments and others.
Yes. Now, if I give the bar pendulum some energy, it may go from here to here, yes? Now, if I give you more energy, it may go from here to here, yes?
Yes, exactly.
But is it possible that I can give it so much energy that it can go from 179 degrees to 179 degrees? Yes?
Yeah, at a point it will be.
Yes. But if I give it slightly more energy, then instead of oscillating, it will go on to the other side. Do you think so?
Yeah, like a circular, you know.
Yes. So that means there is a boundary of energy below which you get oscillation, but above which you get rotation. Yes.
Yes.
So oscillation means bounded motion, rotation means unbounded motion. So that boundary is the separatrix.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. But not physical boundary. It's a boundary in phase space. So phase space में जो boundary है.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Monzurul, your answer is correct. Very good. Kashan, Vivek, Akshay, correct answer. Can I use Euler-Lagrangian equation? Yes, you can. I mean, exam में कोई restriction थोड़ी होता है. These are all objective questions, and this is a computer-based examination, so you can use any method. What I am doing in the class is I am teaching you all possible methods to tackle a problem. So there is no restriction in mechanics as to what method you can use. We will discuss Euler-Lagrangian formulation at a later stage when I discuss classical mechanics for the jest portion. But if you know how to do that, you can do it. Good
Just
for
a
you.
matter of potential and kinetic energy then.
Yep. If you know how to write down the Euler-Lagrange equation, you can do it. No problem. Ruchir and Sampurnananda also correct answer. Okay. This is a question on sort of potential energy analysis where there is rotation that is happening. So small object of mass m is sliding on the surface of a smooth fixed bowl of radius r. R. So if I look at the motion of this object, then I can associate an angle theta with respect to its motion. Okay? So what if I specify a potential energy with respect to this motion? तो क्या होगा? V theta अगर मैं define करूंगा इस particle का क्या होगा? V theta is equal to mgh. What is h equal to? H is equal to r minus r cos theta. So therefore this is equal to mgr 1 minus cos theta. So this is the potential energy function of an object sliding on the inner surface of a bowl. Now, of course, it has an equilibrium point. So if I do dv upon d theta is equal to 0, this would mean d upon d theta of mgr 1 minus cos theta is equal to 0. Therefore, this is going to be equal to 0 minus minus plus sin theta is equal to 0, therefore theta is equal to 0 और अदर अगर हम सिर्फ बाउल की बात करें तो 0 इज अ acceptable answer. Okay, acceptable answer. So what if I do d2v upon d theta 2 at theta is equal to 0, so this becomes d upon d theta of sin theta at 0 is equal to cos theta at 0 is equal to 1. So this is positive, therefore theta is equal to 0 is a minima. So if theta is equal to 0 is a minima, then angular frequency of small oscillations is equal to k upon I square root. So this is equal to d2v upon d theta 2 at 0. Theta is equal to 0 upon I square root. What is the moment of inertia of the point mass about the origin O? कोई बता सकता है? Moment of inertia of the point mass M about the origin. mr square, very simple, right? तो इसको मैं अगर यहाँ सब्स्टिट्यूट करूंगा तो क्या होगा? d2v upon d theta 2, d2v upon d theta 2 क्या आएगा यहाँ पे? अच्छा यहाँ पे mgr भी था, mgr भी था यहाँ पे एक mgr भी था, मैं भूल गया. mgr, so this is equal to mgr and this is equal to mr square. So cancel, r cancel. So this is equal to g upon r. That's it. That is your answer. Answer is option number B. So an object is rotating about the inner surface of a bowl. I can find out the angular frequency of oscillations just by calculating the potential energy function. इस तरह के क्वेश्चंस और भी है, लेकिन मैं इसको रोटेशन के टाइम पे करूंगा. जब हम रोटेशन डिस्कस करेंगे, which is probably next week we are going to start. We will introduce the basics of rotation, and by the end of rotation, I will give you some more problems involving some complex systems like compound pendulum वगैरह वगैरह. ये तो हमारे पास सिंपल सिस्टम था, तो अगर हमारे पास कोई कॉम्प्लेक्स कंपाउंड पेंडुलम होगा, कॉम्प्लेक्स मतलब क्या है भाई, कॉम्प्लिकेटेड, तो भी हम इस तरह का मेथडोलॉजी यूज कर सकते हैं फॉर सॉल्विंग टैकलिंग दोज काइंड्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस.